Hey guys, welcome to T&D Video Games. My name is Dave and... What? What's all this, Joe? Just leaving me more work to do. How am I gonna lean? Hey guys, so yeah, I got a bunch of work I have to do here today. Totally cool. Joe told me he was leaving all this stuff, so, I'm not really mad at him. We had a bunch of stuff come in last week towards the end of the day, so Joe wasn't able to price it and put it up on the shelves, including these amazing PS2 and one PS3 game here. I mean, guys, Xenosaga 3 we haven't had, I don't know, I want to say like 3 or 4 years now. That's a super rare game for the PS2. So I got a bunch of stuff I have to price, put up on the shelves, but I also have to do a lot of organizing today. Got to make a lot of room in the store for 2 huge collections that are going to be going into the store. A lot of collector's editions, and then just a lot of games for different sections, including like the PS3, PS4. So my goal today is going to be to make room for collections going in. So let me show you what we have to do. All right, so I'm going to start behind the counter here because this is where a lot of the collector's editions are going to end up going. I have to make a bunch of room up here for some PS4, PS3 collector's editions, bigger items that we don't typically have in the store, and that's mainly due to space. So there is a little gap there, which is awesome. I'm going to use that. And there's there's a couple of shelves up there as well that I'm going to take advantage of. So I'm going to be moving some of these items around to make space for those 2 collections. I've also got some space up here that I might use. Definitely wanted to sell one of these Super Scopes. Unfortunately, they are not selling. Even with the awesome Kmart sticker on the corner there, nobody wants it. So yeah, going to be looking at all the areas up here, going to make some room for all the collections. So that's going to be goal number 1 today. So goal number 2 today is to reorganize the display case here. Now we put this back up in May, and it's been reorganized, I think, just once since then. What we're finding is a lot of younger kids aren't able to see the Switch games. So the Switch games are going to go lower, and I think I'm going to move the PS1 and PS2 up high. Now, the Wii and Wii U aren't really selling that well for us either, so I think it might be good to put those in another area. I am not entirely sure how I'm going to organize this. I also need to move some shelves around, so we shall see. Some good progress. Got the PS2 at the top there, then PS1, which I think will be much better because those games are really hard to see when they're really low there. The snag that I'm having right now is this middle case. I was hoping I could put the PS3 here, but it's like probably like a centimeter off, which totally sucks. And what I'm gonna have to do is buy one more shelf, I think, and put it here because I had to move one of the shelves up. So basically the Switch is going to go across here and across here, which would be better for kids to be able to see the games. And I actually don't mind what I've done here. So I've got a full row of PS1 with lots of room to expand. I may actually grab some of the games down here that are in the $40 to $50 range and put them over here where it'll be a lot easier to see them. Okay guys, so Joe was razzing on me about the Atari section right behind me there, right? He's like, dude, there's no price stickers on the games. So basically Joe last week was like, look, there's stickers here. Why aren't there stickers here?
So you'll see here NES games, all nice and priced. And then, oh, how much are these?
But there are price stickers on the games. I'm going to show you. Maybe Joe is not as caring a collector as I am, but you can see on the Atari labels here, there's pretty much nowhere to put a sticker. And I don't want to ruin the label. So I put them on the back, right there. Now look, I know it's a small inconvenience to have to pull them off the shelves, but I will say this about the Atari and the Coleco games. They are well priced. Most of them, if not all of them, are somewhere around half the price that you would get them for online. My thinking here is that someone's going to pull this game off and be like, $3, amazing, I'll grab it. In all seriousness, I didn't want to ruin the side labels. That was my big thing. I didn't want to ruin them. I don't like it when people put stickers on labels. I know you guys don't like it either. I think Joe was just razzing me a bit, but if he wasn't, then you got to let them know in the comments down below. Should we be putting stickers on Atari end labels, and then that end label ends up getting ruined? What do you guys think? All right, guys, time for client orders. First off, we have somebody looking for a complete copy of Pokemon Leaf Green for the Game Boy Advance. This is in extremely good condition. This is pretty much minty. So I think he's going to be pretty happy with the condition of this game. Next, we have our buddy Sam looking for Tales of Arise for the PS5. Next, we had someone inquire about Spider-Man 2 for the PS1. I've got the greatest hits version, and I have the black label version. So I'll send pictures of both of those. Next, we had somebody ask about the Castlevania games that we posted last week. So we got Castlevania 1 here, Castlevania 2, and the best of the 3, Castlevania 3. These are actually really hard games to get in cart version. To get them CIB, I mean, I can't remember the last time we had them. It says she was looking for Zelda games for her streaming channel, and these are the ones that we had in stock for her. So we've got Link Between Worlds for the 3DS, we've got Phantom Hourglass for the DS, Spirit Tracks for the DS, and we have Four Swords Adventures for the GameCube. So we had those. There was a couple other ones that she was looking for that we didn't have, but we had most of the ones on our list. As always, you can message us during the week and we'll get back to you on Sunday with what we have in stock. Guys, another thing worth mentioning, Joe was talking about this last week about how we ran out of white stickers and we now have these orange stickers. And then he texted me and he's like, dude, those are orange stickers. I said, look, I'll look this morning and see what they're like. I mean, it's obviously not perfectly orange or red, but here's the thing. I order the stickers and they are marked as red. So, you know, that's red. All right, guys, so I made some progress up here. And what I've done is temporarily just put these smaller items here. Got a bit of a gap there. And I moved the Master System and the Super Mario All-Stars with that pink sticker up there. The truth is, those two systems are very expensive in the box. People ask about them, but we really haven't had anyone ask to bring it down. But we can still reach them. We have a ladder. So yeah, so next week when I bring in all the collections, I'll probably move some of these somewhere else, and then I'll be able to display all of the collections. So we have our first trade of the day here. It's actually 3 different trades that I compiled into one trade. It's been pretty busy here, so just thought I'd throw all 3 of them into the same video. Really neat eclectic mix of stuff here. So we got the Mario paint and pad along with the mouse. Don't see that one too often. We have tons of copies of the game, but not too many pads or mice, I guess you would say. Got a couple of Super Nintendo games here. Good sellers, Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2. Got Pokemon Pearl complete, Pokemon Y complete, Eternites, which the customer actually said is not a good game. So we'll see what happens with that one there. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix. A complete in-box copy of Donkey Kong Country 3. Box is a little beat up, but nice to get a complete copy of that game because we actually usually don't have that complete. Got some nice GameCube games in here. Wind Waker, Four Swords, Luigi's Mansion, Lord of the Rings, and Crash Nitro Kart. Also got Star Ocean and Radiata Stories. Got a copy of Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. And then a controller for the GameCube and Super Mario Bros. 3 Advance 4, which, as we all know, makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, gonna price these and put them on the shelves right now. Hey guys, so it's about 1 o'clock. It's been steady all day. It's been a really decent day for sales. Pretty happy with that. Everyone's been super cool. I have to talk about this. I don't like talking about negative stuff necessarily. And if the person watches our video, that's fine. I mean, you're going to hear me out and I'm going to be as honest as I can here. But I had someone come in with some items to trade. I gave him, you know, his credit. I said, I can give you 25 cash or 30 trade. You know, and I said, that's the best I can do. A lot of these games are slower selling games. And, you know, they weren't going to be great sellers for us. You know, and he was cool with that. Then he looked around. He came up to the cash with something that was 35 bucks. And he's like, can I take this? I said, well, no, you got 30 trade or 25 cash. And then he just like throws me a toonie and he's like, how about 27? And I just like, and this is after multiple times of him humming and hawing and asking me for a deal. And at one point I just said, I wasn't rude or anything. I was just like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, I'm doing 25 cash or 30 trade. That's the most I can do. and then he ended up just leaving. So it was fine. It was a little weird, but anyway, want to let you know about that. All right, guys, we've had a very steady day today and been able to get a lot of stuff done, like in between clients, which is pretty cool. Not a ton of trades, which is totally fine. This happens. Like, we go through days where we don't get a lot of trades. And that's why that big day that we had a few weeks ago was awesome, because we got multiple worth of weeks of trades in one day. It's been a pretty good day. A lot of happy clients, a lot of regulars. So I'll keep you updated. We'll see what else happens. All right, guys, so wanted to show you the finished product of the updated display case. And I say finished, but I may actually, move some things around again. But basically the switch is lower now, which is going to be great for kids. They can finally see everything. And then I threw the PS2 up here at the top, along with the PS1. Now, PS1's not a big seller for us, but I like that it's more eye level, and PS1 is more for adults. So I think having these two systems up here is actually going to be advantageous for us. Then I've got the PS Vita here with some games sideways. Not super happy with this, but because I added an extra shelf in here, I wasn't able to do anything else. And then I have the Wii U here going across, and Wii U is not a big seller either, so I think it's fine that it kind of sits like that. At the bottom here, we've got the Switch with a lot of room to move, so if we get more Switch games, we can always expand over here. We've got a bunch of collector's editions here at the bottom, and then I've got the PS3 stacked like this. I don't like doing this, so what I might do is buy one more of these shelves here, and then sort of add it across here and see what happens. Also, totally random, there's a cat. How you doing, buddy? Anyway, yeah, so that's what we did here. The only games that I wasn't able to put are the Wii, which I put right in the middle there, and a lot of those Wii games are sealed. Very slow sellers for us, and if someone's looking for a particular game, like, we can always show them there. But that was all I had to sacrifice. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Let me know, what do you guys think? I know that for adults, having to bend down now to look at the Switch is not going to be favorable, but for kids, I mean, it's going to be good for them. I also put here, so we got this in about a month ago, the Mega Yarn Yoshi Amiibo, just so people know it's an Amiibo. A lot of people don't actually know that this is an Amiibo. They think it's a cute little stuffy, and they're like, why is that 120? And I'm like, well, it's actually like 140, 150 online, but crazy deal here at TND Video Games. Yeah, so that's the update with the cabinet. Let me know what you think. So this isn't a trade, but we have a few manuals going into the store today, including a really nice one here, Mega Man X2, in really nice shape. This is a $100 manual, so we put 90 on it, which means we're selling it roughly between 75 and 80 bucks, because our prices include the tax. So yeah, I got a couple of nice ones here, Castlevania, Turtles in Time, and then a few other miscellaneous ones. We have little bins over there that we put them in, so I'll put all of them there, except for this guy right here. I'll probably put that in the display case. Pretty cool. Always love seeing the Super Nintendo manuals. We have a very important update here. We did sell a few Coleco and Atari games today. Happy that these games are selling. People are making the effort. They're pulling the games off the shelves to see the prices. Pretty happy with all that. Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about where people mostly get their games from. I put a poll out on our YouTube channel on the community tab asking people where they get their games from. And basically I just titled it, I mostly get my games from, and then the choices were a local game store, online retailers, online groups like Facebook Marketplace, yard sales, and thrift stores. I had 67 people vote, so that is totally scientific. It was kind of expected. It was like, I think that's where most people would get their games from, right? If you're a retro collector, you're looking to get games, you're going to get them from a local game store. Maybe you have 2 or 3 in your community and you kind of like go to all 3 of them. Or maybe you're like our loyal fans and you only come here. Yeah, and then obviously online retailers, right? Like a lot of games you have to get, maybe you can't get them either at a store or in your local community. Maybe you don't have a store in your community and you have to go grab them online. But the reason I asked this question, besides the fact that I was curious to see what people would say, was mainly for the comments, right? Because nothing really surprised me in there. Like, I mean, yard sales, thrift stores, I think we all know that thrift stores it's so hard to get games there. I actually went shopping at a thrift store a few months ago, and it was just like, I actually just happened to be in the area. I was waiting for my daughter to pick her up, and I'm like, you know what, I got like 10 minutes to kill. Let's go in there. And, it was exactly what you would expect. It was like, 360 Connect games and just not necessarily garbage, but just stuff that like you know, we don't need here, first of all, and that I really wouldn't collect for anyway. So thrift stores, like anywhere where I live locally, they kind of died a few years ago. Yard sales are still awesome in my opinion. I love yard sales. I don't get a lot of games at the yard sales like I used to, but you know, I think the best way to get games at a yard sale is just to ask. Like when you go show up, to say, hey, you got any games? Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, right? So wasn't surprised about those results. Also, you know, I put this poll out in January, so you know, where I am right now, there are no yard sales. There's snow on the ground. I wanted to talk about this mainly because people commented below, and I want to read those comments because I think that's where you get the really good information, right? So if you're responding to our polls, I appreciate that. But you know, leave comments because I love reading those for the vlog. First person here says a little bit of all five, depending on the season and what deals I find. And I think I agree with that, right? Like the season will change depending on what you want, right? Especially with those yard sales, maybe thrift stores, but I think more the yard sales kind of changes. And then at different times of year, people are kind of like getting rid of their stuff, right? Or people are looking for money. Like in January, lots of people are looking for money, so they post a lot of things online, and you might get better deals in January. So someone else says GameStop for new releases, T&D for everything else. I mean, I can't argue with that, right? We don't sell new releases here, so you know, you have to get your new releases somewhere else. I totally understand that. I'll explain very quickly why we don't sell new releases. The number one reason we don't sell them is the markup is absolutely terrible. Like we would make $4 or $5 for like an $80 game, and you know, we can't operate on margins like that. The only way we would ever consider selling newer games is if people exclusively traded in older games for them, but we can't really tell people what to trade their stuff for. We don't do that. Like if we give trade credit, we're like, you know what, you can buy whatever you want. And yeah, so new releases, you got to go somewhere else. I totally get that, but yeah, T&D for everything else. We have everything else you need. We had someone else say T&D, the Gemmy store. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. A lot of gems in here, actually, to be quite honest. And then DK Oldies. No, someone said DK Oldies, JK, which means joking. No, I know that. Anyway, so cool little poll. Like, where do you get your games from? So if you weren't able to respond to this poll, let me know in the comments down below. Where do you guys mainly get your games from? So it wasn't like all the place. It was mainly. And yeah, I mean, if you're in Ottawa, you know, let me know. If you're not local, like, would definitely love to hear where you mainly get your games from. And maybe like, if I didn't include something in that list, like leave me a comment in our comments in the YouTube video down below. Like, where do you get your games from? Primarily, mainly. Cheers. Okay, so I'm alphabetizing all of the PlayStation games and sort of culling the section as well. And I've actually been able to remove a lot of doubles and triples. So this entire stack here is all like doubles, triples. We even had 4 copies of some games. So the PS1 section is going to be looking much better in a few minutes. Alright, so this is the new and revamped PS1 section. So basically I was able to cull a full like 2 rows out of the section, which is awesome. And I'm really thinking that I might move them over here at the bottom and then just consolidate all of the Genesis because there's a lot of gaps there. Alright guys, so we have the PS1 over here now, consolidated these shelves, filled up some gaps. And I actually moved the manuals that were here over here at the bottom. Manuals aren't a big seller for us, and typically people pull them out anyway and put them out on one of our shelves. So now I have a nice gap right here, and I'm debating what I should do here or even here. So stay tuned because this will be something that I'll be doing next week. All right, guys, I'm done. Bit of a weird day, not too many trades. That happens sometimes. Honestly, it's totally fine. I had a lot of work to do in the store today. Next week, I have a ton of stuff coming in. Made a lot of room for that stuff, so really happy about that. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.